Hello, everyone, and yeah, so I think I shall now do this video on the Dokkan now. That's what happened. I'll do it now because it's right before the anniversary. So people are complaining, a plenty, of oh, it's a shaft. Oh, the stones are getting crazy. Oh, I can't believe they got translators. I mean, that last one I feel like not entirely their fault. But we're going to go through it in the very simplest, very quickest of ways and what they covered. So feel free to listen to all the others, but this will be the simplest way around I could possibly give you this. I'll try and break it down into three steps. We got the upcoming banners, we got some upcoming content, we have, and then of course we have the most particular part is the stones and the unification part, the joint service. So we'll break it down to the easy bits. So start off with a little bit of fun as we have on this. We have the two new story events coming straight off the bat, and they are going to be this guy. It looks like you can get a new freezer. This will easy A probably at some point during the 9th anniversary. It's fun to do. It looks to be fairly decent. I mean, look how many stones you can get there. 8 stones. It looks like for the first 7, you can get 2 for the stages. So you can get 15 stones just for clearing this. Plus, there might be various missions here. So so you can get 18 stones up for grabs. That's really nice. And then there's another one which is this. This is the new free to play LR, by the way. That's not a problem. So yeah, I think that's actually on this picture here. Yeah, so he awakens over part 1, part 2, part 3 into the available LR. Again, it looks like we have a very nice 14 stones. In fact, how many missions? Oh, we have got quite a few. There's 5. So that's a good 19 stones. What I like about this is a standalone beerus. And the standalone beerus can be used to farm up various other people, which should be quite nice. Yeah, so we can farm up other beerus cards. I don't know if this freezer in particular can do the very same thing, because, I mean, it depends on his name. Freezer first form. Okay, so there is some opportunities there to grind him up. Hey, could be the AGL first form freezer. Who knows? So we tick them off out the way with they're done. So I think then we'll go on to the next best bit, and that is the banners. So this is going to be it. So whether or not who you summon for is going to be Broly or Gogeta, personally I think that Gogeta's a bit ass. I mean, only because you compare what the 7th anniversary, well, hell, even the 6th anniversary, they had like UI Goku with his dodge, and they had a crit chance in their super attacks. Then the 7th anniversary, they stacked attack and defense. They transformed and they massively raised attack and defense, and they guard for the first turn. And then the 8th anniversary, you had like a massively offensive character with a one-hitter quitter active skill, and then you had a very defensive beast of a unit on the flip side. Who personally, I reckon last year's anniversary units are better. I mean, you got the Broly, who is an absolute powerhouse of a demon. 55% will be so much more valuable than this guy. Exploding Rage, Full Power, Pure Saiyans are going to be at movie bosses, super bosses. He's going to be felt no matter where he is. Gogeta can be good. He has a lot of dodge, and I feel like the dodge and the crits that they put on this guy is weighing him down too heavily. This guy does have guard, by the way, who's gluing in together, and I think what's gluing this guy together might just be... Actually, I can't remember what it was, but honestly, I was left disappointing tears. Speaking of the banners, though, Broly's banner, we can touch on the issue of the stones and the discounts they've done as a revamp. So this is it. There's the 2 new units. In particular, you're hunting for the new Broly worldwide download celebration, last year's anniversary units, years before that, and a few years before that. And these 2 are the previous worldwide download celebration units. Both of them are really strong, by the way. All of these are LRs, but bear in mind, every single one, except for this new support unit and this guy, he's still really good. Most of these are LRs. Now, again, by now, the 5th anniversary fusion units are probably old. They've had their easy A's, they're said and done. Don't get me wrong, Vegito is still really good. The additional supers, the fact that he has these guaranteed dodge. I mean, they both kind of have that same effect, but he's the only real reason that stands apart is he has the additional super attack, whether this guy has the additional normal. But again, they have that dodge mechanic, which allows them to build up, which is really nice. Of course, the rest up we all know about. These guys will get the easy A. So if you pull them and you don't quite have them rainbow, it's not really the end of the world. They're going to become relevant. So this is it. Of course, everything else is always going to be in this. It's not really showing, but like every single other LR is going to be on this. Literally every other LR to date is going to be on this. And then Gogeta's banner looks to be, I'll be honest, a bit disappointing. We have 200% for time travelers, 200% for Bond of Master and Disciple, with 200% for Wicked Bloodline. He has his easy A. He's just had his easy A. This is UI Goku. He's ass, and every single one of these is absolute bull. Trunks can be good, and this guy can be good, this Gohan, depending on how much they've built up. Cooler is honestly a beast. I hear this guy's good, right? And we all know how good this guy is now. So, like, you pull Gogeta, you're really hunting for Gogeta unless you happen to have... Like, to be fair, though, on this particular banner, these two well, this was a yellow coin and LR, and this is that other... Christ, what did they call it? It's the yellow coin part 2, but with the pity system put in place. It's kind of like that. So, like, people legitimately may not have these 3 units. The only reason I'd say these 2 is this guy's on the older side now. So legitimately, you go for Gogeta, you get him. Quite honestly, you're going to be pulling one of the other LRs. Of course, in terms of value for money, this guy's going to be better because we have an upcoming Easy A, and then, very defensive unit and a fantastic unit in itself. So there we go. That's not a problem. We can touch on them, not a problem. So going into, I believe, if we can find the particular point of the summon part that they had, because they've revamped the discounts, and specifically probably the reason that they've done this. I'm not strictly too. Here we go. I'm not strictly too sure because I am kind of undecided if they know that people are skipping these because of Beast Gohan and Gamma 1 and 2, or if the worldwide download celebration, because honestly, that's only about 5 weeks after these guys come out. So, pending on the fact that they have other Part 2 Yellow Coin LRs coming out, people aren't strictly summoning for this. So, I guess they kind of shot themselves in the foot. But I also think that they've actually... Personally, I reckon this is not a bad way round of doing it. Now, I don't know how many times this can be repeated for the discounts, but put it this way. Steps 1 to 3 was pretty much as normal. It's the first, 3 or 4 are discounted, right? But then otherwise it'd be 50, 50, 50, and then your 4th is free. But at neither point were you guaranteed a featured, period. You were pure punting, right? The 4th free is really nice. The best way I could probably say about 5, 6, and 7 is imagine that's another step entirely. Do not think it's a step up summon. Do not think that it's a continuation of the step. It really isn't. Imagine 5 and 6 are still yet discounted. You could it's 15 stones, but it's 15 stones towards another summon. And then your 50th. So step 7, full on 50. Now you think to yourself, well, by now I've just spent 255 stones. At this point, previously, it would have been, around 240 to 300, depending on how many discounts you had. Sorry, so with this one, 255 stones, but you're guaranteed a featured SSR. Featured is the keyword. Now that means then that the banners... You're guaranteed to pull one of them. So which is like a 90% buff, if not 100% buff over every other format. The only problem, and it's a small problem, but still somewhat a problem, is it's a guaranteed featured. Great. Gogeta is one of those featured, and so is Trunks, and so is Gohan, so is Krillin. That's the problem. You're going to get a guaranteed featured. You spend 255 stones. So you saved a few thousand, your 600, who names it. You go through 255 stones, and then you pull Krillin because he's guaranteed. But to be fair, if you didn't, what were you going to pull? Some other SSR that isn't an LR? Maybe. Legitimately, the guaranteed featured will pull a decent unit, but that's the thing. It's still one of many. So in Gogeta's particular instance, and these banners will be the same. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, which means you have a 10% chance to get it. So realistically, it sounds great. You're going to get this SSR featured, but it's a 10% chance to pull this strictly the unit. But if you compare to why you have a 10% chance to pull that unit, previously you probably would have had what does it say? 5%? You'd have no, yeah, for a summon, for a multi summon, you'd have had 5%. So that means then that you've doubled your chances. Can I say that doubling the chances from 5 to 10% is going to be a world of difference? There'll be someone out there, there'll be millions of players out there even who are going to experience the double. It's basically Carnival Summon Banner. Apologies. The Carnival Summon Banner is double rates. This is essentially double rates. That's all it is. I think it's good that the fact that they're giving you an LR featured. Well, in Gogeta's case, it's literally not, but the fact that you're getting it's better. It just is. In essence, it's 2 steps. They've added an extra step. Think of it as that. Step 1 to 4 is one step. 5 to 7 is another. And that other, is it a pity system? I don't know. Are they doing it because they know you won't summon because of Beast Gohan and they want to get top grossing? Yeah, that's an argument to be made, but that's fine. So anyway, we have done with these in particular. Now it's on to something perhaps a bit more juicy in essence, and that is coming up as this. So it's the unification thing that they've done. It's a merger. It's the joining of servers. It's global and Japan not being a thing. It's going to be just Dokkan. So we are now finally going to have the same stuff, the same time, which is brilliant. It's perhaps what it should have been all this time. I understand that we were 6 months behind initially, but that's because of coding and releasing and whatnot, stuff like that. And there's various checkings and translations, and they probably, I mean, it's a mobile game. Are they really going to have a massive team? No. Is Bandai Namco going to give them a lot of money for this? Not the most biggest of budget, because they have other high important things going. So there is that. But it is nice to know that they're finally getting together. You could argue over the last 9 years they should have done this quicker and quicker and quicker and sped things up, arguably. It does leave a question, and the question is, are we going to have, are we never ever going to get the units that have come prior? Okay, well, it's not a lot, strictly, I will say. Off the top of my head, we're talking Topo would be the next, and then there's Cell Max, and then I think there's UI Goku, who's literally only just come out, as well as Cell Max. So there's a few. There's not a massive amount. In fact, the ones that are strictly missing, all this will come out anytime soon. So what is strictly missing? So we're talking, yeah, so Topo is probably going to be our next. We've already had LR Ginyu, so that's even better. So yeah, and we've had the Boo. So Topo is going to be in limbo for a little bit. Cell Max will be in limbo for a little bit. And who else are we talking? We've already had this guy. UI Goku. So the campaigns for Topo, Cell Max, UI Goku are going to be in limbo. It's 3 campaigns. It's not as if we're never going to get them. Chances are Them are going to be 6 months down the line. We will get them as expected prior to joining. We will get the new stuff. They will just so happen to put it as, let's say the new unit is a new Vegito. I don't know, worldwide download celebration is Vegito. I can see it happening. At some point just afterwards, when everything's said and done, we will get Topo as well as a new the Dokkan Fest afterwards, which could be Caulifla. Afterwards, we'll get Caulifla as well, but we'll also get Topo. And then the next scheduled for us all joined together could be a new Boo. The new Dokkan Fest for September, October could be a Boo, but we get Boo as well. Except this time we get Cell Max as well. Imagine that there's a part 2 to ours. We would get it released in the lull, really, because there'll be a little bit of it. And then that's really it. It's not as if we're going to get it. It will have 2 paths. One will be the joint. The other one will be carrying on as it is now, 6 months behind. We will get them added on in 6 months' time. It's not as if it's going to be in limbo forever. Arguably, they could say that we could have it could be further down the line. Could it be a year from now till we get UI Goku? Possibly. All these units I can guarantee will come out before this time next year, because they'd be too old by then. So sure, this time next year we're all going to have them, and this will be long since done. So great, we're probably looking at a time frame of about 6 months, 8 months. That's probably what's going to happen. They can't leave it too long, because as great as Cell Max is, as great as UI Goku is, they're going to be ass and cannon fodder when it comes to a year from now. That's kind of how the game progression goes. So that's fine. Another real question is, great, we all sing. Is there any point to summoning on the 9th anniversary? Because are we going to get the 10th anniversary in February, literally? So are you saying we summon now and then we just have it again soon in the new year, just gone? I don't know. I mean, they could what we were aiming for. I mean, they probably are aiming for something. They do it now in the middle of August. And the worldwide download celebration is a good place to start, because it's joint anyway. So having that is fine. They've probably had this prepped long since done. Since even before there was whispers about it, they've already been working on it. It just has to have been. So they probably have a plan in mind, and that'll be by the 10th anniversary. Legitimately could be by the 10th anniversary, all the kinks have been straightened and all the creases have been ironed out. Literally could be the case. So we could be looking at the 10th anniversary about 6 months away, which could be pretty mental to think of for global. But then, of course, we'd have a longer wait for the 11th. But honestly, I'd be game for that. So fear not, we will get the new stuff. It'll be added in at some point where there's a lull, where there's not a major thing going on. We will get him as well. Does that mean you need to be careful of where your stones go? Probably, because let's say your new favorite unit comes out. Because, like, for example, let's say we've sped things across and we're expecting Cell Max or UI. Let's say we're expecting UI Goku, who apparently is really good when he transforms. But you could get the next unit, which could be what the hell? How would I know? Who are we going to pick? Super Vegeta. We could get another Beast Super Vegeta or something like that. Favorite unit. Let's get your stones in. Boom. Part 2 for Global's aspect is UI Goku. Oh hell, who do you summon on? Oh, it's going to be one of them kind of deals. So that's it. So that's Dokkan now, basically in a nutshell. We don't have a lot to catch up on. You might as well summon now, because a lot of difficult content that comes out will be based around having these units. So get the Gogeta who dodges, and get the Broly who it guards and just crushes everybody with 6 supers is basically what's going to happen. So they're going to be the best units in the game. If you want to summon for Beast Gohan, I would personally say putting all your eggs in one basket stupid, because while he's great, if he's not so, I mean, he alone, let's say he alone is going to crush every aspect of the game. Uh, Surrounded by not as great people is going to be just as bad. So you're not really going to get anywhere with him. So having these units to complement Beast Gohan or the Gammas or whichever will set you up better. You will have an easier time going through nicer, well, the difficult content with Gogeta and Broly. They are the best units, period, in the game at this point in time. Personally, I think last year's anniversary units are. But point remains, it's the same sort of deal. Like you need these units to clear them. That's how it's spec'd. So just going for Beast is like, and Rage Gohan's nice, but it's just a useless thing to do. But anyway, that's it. Can't go on for too long. Already at 20 minutes. So yeah, Dokkan now. That's pretty much it. Lots of content. It comes out on the 7th, by the way. It is confirmed at some point that they will release it on the 7th. I wonder if they will say on this, but yes, it is coming out on the 7th, so that will be nice. Come on, show me. Aha. Scheduled to start. Now, for me, I thought that was the 7th of August. No, it's the 8th. 8th of July. 8th, which is in a few days. Yay. Basically 2 days' time. Probably midnight it drops. Woohoo. But yeah, anyway, that's it. Enjoy. I've been the normal playing guy, and you've been a brilliant audience. I hoped this simplified it. Hope I didn't rant on too long. But hey, let me know if you made it all the way to the end or just skip to the end, then just let me know if I ranted. But anyway, if you like this video, brilliant. You'll have the best of luck in your summons. But if you didn't, well, that sucks to be you, and I hope you have bad summons. But no, all the best. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you, and bye-bye.